Welcome, you guys. Happy Friday. Welcome to our immune enhancing webinar here. This is super fun. It's a different platform for us, and we are stoked to be able to kind of do something different for you guys and join you in a new way. So I think it's going to be lots of fun. We're going to kind of start out with our, just kind of going through our immune boosting protocol here, and then we're going to go in some time of questions. And yeah, so let's welcome everybody.
You know, I wanted to start with this time is really about making a difference, and that's what we want to do. If you don't know me, I'm Dr. Gary Arthur. I'm a DC and ND practicing in downtown Laguna Beach since 1987. And, through the last 33 years of working with people, we've had a chance to see what works and what doesn't work. We also recognize there are many different viewpoints. You know how sometimes people have said that when you're among friends, there's certain things that can be divisive topics like religion and politics, and now even healthcare and the approaches to healthcare and healthcare freedoms are being also discussed. Yeah.
Get situated.
And those topics can be divisive with different people with different viewpoints. I've had friends that have posted different people's viewpoints that aren't mainline, mainstream, pharmaceutical based in their approach. And, some people have really taken exception with those people. Wanted to shame or humiliate them because they think differently and their religious freedoms, have different viewpoints. And I think this is becoming more of a lightning rod of conversation. And I think it's really good to be informed and not just listen to what the media says, or not just listen to what other people that have different vantage points feel, but just to start looking at all the data and determine really what is a thought process that makes sense to you. So one of the key things that I wanted to mention is that this is really about you and what you want to know more about. I'm not the world expert on anything, but I do have some experience in this arena of helping people. So if there's anything that you want to talk about, please just write what your question is. And there's a lot to go through, but I want to make sure that this time is very valuable for you.
So let's get started. Are we going to talk about the immune system?
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about the immune system. If you want to know more and get yourself educated on how the immune system works, we're going to have a link to this article, and it's called Immune Regulation and Accuracy in Response to Food and Environmental Triggers. Basically, our immune system is in general, the main function is to recognize and remove unknown antigens, which is a difficult task comprised of numerous cellular elements, molecular focus, and signaling pathways in both innate and acquired immune systems. So I'm going to have Maria post this article. It basically helps you to understand what the immune system does and how it all works, instead of me being a teacher of something that I don't. Let's just say I'm not a scientist. I'm a doctor. I listen to science, and I'm grateful for people that spent their life studying research, and I glean a lot of information from those people. And so this is going to be one that will be available. And if you want to dive in and learn more about the immune system and specific pathways of how it works, what we're going to try to do today is give you data on how to make your immune system work better, things that you can do that are going to help you and your family, and also things that you can cease from doing that will help you and your family. So that's our format for today. Is there any questions about anything so far that would help us to follow a path that would be most beneficial to you? Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll get started. So this entire format will be on the link so that you guys don't have to take notes unless you want to, but it'll all be there for you. And Maria has just been putting in hours and hours and hours to try to, sift through the good data and see what's really usable data for you. Do you have anything else you want to say?
I don't think so. I think that you can follow along with that outline on the link. But
so
nothing at this point.
Do they all have the link in front of them?
They have it on the email. Yeah.
On the email. Okay, perfect. So prevention. We are definitely doing social distancing. Since she's my daughter, we are not social distancing. And when we are in the clinic, we are all wearing masks. We're essential healthcare providers that are helping people get out of pain and unburdening the medical system in this time of need. So therefore, that's what we're doing. If you are in pain, we welcome you to give us a call, and we would love to help you. And our phone number is right there, on our website. The prevention, we all know about social distancing. We all know about washing our hands. Soap and water is actually more beneficial. A friend of mine who's a surgeon talked about when you get the soap and water in their hands, that you have the soapy water in there, and for about 20 seconds, put your fingers and your fingernails into your palm of your hand and really get that soap up underneath the fingernails on each side. And that's how you get rid of a lot of microbes. Push down on the fingernails, even do get your fingernails underneath, rinse them one more time. And if you really want to be good with it, just rinse your hands the last time with soap and water one more time. Sanitization. We had recommended a reference to Dr. Dietrich Klinghardt. If you go onto our website there, did you get the last one that he did a week ago?
No, it's not posting.
It's not posting. So some of this stuff is considered non-media mainstream and non-pharmaceutical, big pharma-based information. And therefore, some of these viewpoints by different practitioners are being taken off of YouTube, taken off of Facebook, because the media has an agenda, and so does big pharma. This is where we suggest that freedoms in healthcare and freedoms in information are valuable and are important. Just realize that there is a censoring process. To my knowledge, Klinghardt Institute on Facebook, if you go to Corona 2020, that was one that came out about 3 weeks ago. And his most recent one that came out, was it 2 weeks ago now? Was it on that Friday?
I think it was 3 weeks ago.
No, 2 weeks was the last one, and the previous one was 2 weeks before that. So go to Klinghardt, Klinghardt Institute, and listen to Dr. Dietrich Klinghardt, famous medical doctor from Germany, now resides in Seattle. He's been treating and helping cure people of coronavirus and keeping people strong and their immune system strong. He and Dr. Marcela Dominguez are two of my most respected medical doctors that I know. There's many others, and people that are willing to really look deeper into the data and into natural healthcare. So he talks about sanitization. He uses hypochlorous acid, which is available from his website. Is it where you got it?
Yeah.
And this kills microbes. It's called Briotech.
So that one's like a topical skin spray. So he talks about spraying that in your mouth and in your throat, in your nose, and just kind of spraying it in front of your face, breathing it in, also putting it like
even in your eyes.
Even into your eyes. They talk a lot about the
It's a little
hypochlorous.
salty.
Yeah.
It's all right.
And then this one's an oral hygiene. This one's more for gargling. So, you know, a lot of the research has shown that the coronavirus begins in the mucous membranes of the mouth, the nose, and the eyes, and starts with a sore throat. So, yeah. There we go. So that's one of the tips that we'll go through is just the importance of gargling to kill anything that's hanging out in the throat where coronavirus does tend to hang out in the beginning. So we recommend gargling with that, recommend gargling with lemon, recommend gargling with warm salt water, and then also recommend a throat spray of Argentine silver. Yeah. So we'll kind of get into that as well, but that's one of the things that Dr. Klinghardt really recommends as well.
Yep, we'll get into it. Sleep is so important. That's where the parasympathetic nervous system turns on. That's when the body heals itself and rejuvenates itself, repairs itself. You're not using your body's vital force to stand and move. You know, Dr. Roger Sperry won a Nobel Prize. He found that his research on the energy that comes from the brain, 90% of it is used to relate our bodies to gravity, 90%. And that's if we have normal posture. Mm. But when we're laying down and we don't have to deal with gravity, 100% of the brain's energy is used to heal and to work with our metabolism and to repair and to fight off bugs and to rejuvenate us and heal us. So getting your sleep is really important. Dr. Shen Lee, my favorite acupuncturist in the world, down in South Laguna in front of the hospital, he's always told me that 2 hours of sleep before 12 o'clock is worth, 1 hour of sleep before 12 o'clock is worth 2 hours after 12 o'clock. So getting to bed earlier is very beneficial to your rhythm and your body's ability to heal. Nutrition is the next category. And you want to talk about that one?
Sure. Yeah. So we just, you know, food. I love the, I think it's is it Anne Lamott? I forgot her name. But there's a quote that just basically says, food can be either your greatest medicine or the slowest form of poison. And so really right now, the foods that you're eating are so important for your immune function. So we just kind of outlined some really top immune boosting foods that you should be implementing, and then some foods that you definitely want to be staying away from. So in terms of immune boosting foods, that would be a lot of citrus food. So what's so cool about the earth and the planet is that a lot of times we will get the foods in season when our body really needs them. So citrus comes into season in the winter when a lot of us need more vitamin C. So we have fruit trees in the backyard and they're all going off right now. So implement, you know, lemon, lime, oranges, different citrus fruits into your diet. Then blueberries are really good for anti-inflammatory processes. So we like to be eating a lot of blueberries. Garlic and ginger are both really good agents for antifungal. They're more of the fighters that are going to go after the pathogens in your body. So we just made like a Thai curry this week, put so much ginger and so much garlic in there. Amazing. And then broccoli. Broccoli is really high in, I think it's vitamin K. Yeah, which is important for your immune system. Mushrooms are really good. Red bell peppers also have high in vitamin C. Turmeric is also anti-inflammatory. And then spinach and miso. And we also say that, you know, if you are getting sick, one of the things that they say in Chinese medicine is to stick to hot foods. So we'll talk about kind of that temperature there, but with the miso soup is really good, different soups there. And also the miso has a probiotic and prebiotic aspect to it as well.
Even the little packages from Trader Joe's of miso soup, you can just take hot water, open the package, put it in. Mm-hmm. You don't want to make your own. Yeah. But yeah, you can look up a lot more on those foods, what we're going to say.
Oh, yes. And then, so that's the foods that we want to be eating. And then in terms of things to stay away from, it's really important to be staying away from sugar, especially processed sugar. So that will just decrease your immune system pretty right away. So stay away from sugar. If you do want to have some sugar, you know, honey is a really, really good substitute. Some grade A maple syrup. Sucanat is something that we use in our house.
And honey should be unheated, unfiltered if possible.
Mm.
That's where you're going to get a lot of the real benefits. Like, yeah, the propolis components.
Yeah, and propolis spray is another thing that we'll talk about as well. So, you know, decrease your sugar, and then you want to decrease all of your inflammatory foods, because if your body is in an inflammatory process at that point, it's going to be something that your energy is going towards to try and decrease the inflammation, rather than all your good energy being put towards your immune, which is what we want.
She should have been a doctor.
So we want to be giving your body the best, like, everything that it can to be functioning well. So that means let's just take out the stressors that are going to decrease that. So that would be like wheat, genetically modified corn, soda, saturated fats, artificial sweeteners like Splenda, things like that. So just really eliminate. This is a time right now where we all kind of want to focus in. We want to, you know, not putting all of our like fun things out there. And, you know, it's just a time to kind of take it back, do what needs to be done to keep your body in a healthy state.
And one thing is if a lot of these things are going to be much more important if you're feeling fatigued, if you're feeling stressed, if you feel like something's coming on, then these things become even much more important. Mm-hmm. And we're also trying to create a platform where your immune system isn't stressed and it's already handling whatever comes its way, which is what it should do. So in Chinese medicine, they talk about increasing the yang property, which is hot foods, keep your body warm. I'm gonna jump down to temperature for a second, because it also talks about avoiding cold liquids, avoiding cold foods, even salads. If you're feeling something, you're on the verge, stay with hot foods. Keep your yang energy up. Stay warm, bundle up, make sure your kidneys are covered. And just use that heat, not overheating. Sometimes people think, oh, I'm starting to get sick, I better get in the sauna. Well, that's not necessarily the best way to do. You want the heat to come from within you instead of from outside, because outside heat can be more of a stress to the nervous system to have to deal with. So just keep that in mind. Home remedies. So I remember I had a horrible sore throat, and my friend, we were at church, and I had this horrible sore throat, and my buddy says, hey, my grandma always taught us if we have a sore throat, get some lemon juice or lime juice and gargle with it. And so we went over to this little store across the street from church, and I got a lemon, and we cut it in half and stuck it in there, and it burned like crazy. He says, if it burns, you know that's your remedy. So we've been using this one for a long time. It isn't something you want to do on a repetitive basis, or especially get a lot of citrus onto the enamel of your teeth, because it can erode a little bit of the enamel. But if you gargle with straight lemon or lime juice, get it way back in your throat and try to get it back behind the epiglottis, which is the little punching bag in the back of your throat. Mm-hmm. And if it stings, you know that's going to be a good remedy for you. It creates a very highly acidic environment, and you can do that on an hourly basis, and it can knock a sore throat out really fast. If it doesn't sting, you can either switch to warm sea salt water or even hydrogen peroxide, and really create an environment where the microbes can grow. Argentum silver.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so one thing that I've been doing is I've been doing my gargling first, either lemon juice or warm sea salt water, and then afterwards I'll do Argentum silver spray in my throat and up the nasal cavity. So Argentum is a really powerful tool. It kills pathogens on contact. So kind of using that, and then also propolis spray. So that's one thing that Dr. Klinghardt talks about, is that propolis is a really good spray for the throat and for down. Yep. So that, and then as well as this hypochlorous acid.
And making ginger tea. I call this Asian healing tea. Dr. Lee taught me how to make this too. You just take a big chunk of ginger, cut it up real fine, boil it for 10 minutes, let the heat come down, turn the heat off, add in your lemon or lime juice, add in the raw, unheated, unfiltered honey, and then you can drink that. That creates inner warmth, inner yang energy inside, and boosts the immune response. Mm-hmm. Movement. Keep your body moving. It stimulates lymphatic flow. but don't work out too hard. A lot of times people will start to feel a little bit better when their immune system is caught up, and then they'll go out and work out too hard, and then they're sick again because the viruses can mutate when your immune response starts to get lower. So, walking is a great way to do it. My son, Raya Arthur, who is a professional surfer, he's also a Czech holistic practitioner and an exercise coach. You can visit, is he on our website as well? Okay.
He's on
you can see
it's a calendly.com link, which is where he does all his scheduling. But he's been working with you. He's been working with me.
He's helping train me. He's still working with private clients, either at their homes or at areas where they walk or lift weights. He does social distancing, and he's doing Zoom workouts for you where right in your own home, he can be on your computer leading you through a whole exercise plan. He's doing families. Families are getting together and working out while he's leading them through programs. So that's an option for you too.
And he's also doing Wim Hof Breathing. And Wim Hof Breathing, if you don't know Wim Hof, he's an amazing man. You should check him out. But he basically says he has a lot to do with breathing, and he also has a lot to do with cold. So he says cold is my teacher. And he talks about the importance of ice baths and how to breathe when you're in an ice bath. And then he has his Wim Hof breathing protocols, which really oxygenate the body. And they're pretty amazing. We've all done them together, and they're really awesome. So he does that, and those are really good for the lung function, for oxygenation, and everything like that.
Yeah. My son reminded me, this is called breath work. It is work, but the benefit when you get working is that things change. Mm-hmm. So we talked about that. Earlier, we talked about stimulating the thymus gland, actually mechanically stimulating it by tapping it. And then there's a thymus reflex underneath your pec muscle that goes from underneath your arm, underneath your pec and your nipple across. You can usually feel some tender spots in between the ribs. There'll be a little indentation. If these are ribs, you want to find the sore spots in between here, and the thymus neurolymphatic reflex is across here. You can rub and stimulate the lymphatic system to the thymus by doing that.
Why is the thymus so important for?
Well, the thymus, as you'll see in this link on the immune system, that's where your white blood cells mature and turn into killer B and killer T white blood cells. A healthy body makes 250,000 white blood cells every second and 2.5 million red blood cells every second. So if you think about 250,000, 250,000, 250,000, 250,000. 4 seconds, you've made 1 million new white blood cells. So it's important to have your system working, and tapping the thymus may stimulate the production of just through mechanical movement. So we talked about temperature, decreasing stress.
This is a big one.
We had a talk 3 weeks ago,
I think so.
And it's on the website about handling stress. We gave some self-help techniques that are on there to help you cope with stress and help to decrease the amount of stress. Almost like if there's a bucket of water that's boiling water, and it's in a plastic bucket, let's say, and that boiling water is way too hot. Well, if you take a screwdriver and pop holes in that, the hot water can go out, and then the environment isn't so scalding anymore. Doing neuroemotional technique, and even a self-help neuroemotional technique that we showed on that video, can really help to dissipate the stress that our bodies are carrying. One study showed that 4 minutes of extreme stress can deplete most of your water-soluble B and C vitamins during extreme stress. So this is one of the things why when you get to the nutrition part, we're going to be talking about vitamin B, vitamin C, all those important water-soluble vitamins. Mm. And then
we talk about
Qigong breathing. Yeah. That was in there. The raise the clouds with Qigong breathing. You can take a look online about this. Actually, just look at our video on breathing. It was a short one.
I think we did one on Qigong. But basically, the main thing is that you're take it, you know, when you get into that place of stress, this is like a time to stop and just basically like give yourself a few moments. You raise the clouds. You want to put your tongue.
Yeah, tongue on the roof of your mouth. And then you breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Keep the tongue on the roof of the mouth. And you stand up, you slightly bend your knees. Your hands come here. Even doing only 4 of those, you can just feel a sense of inner peace, oxygenation, and you start to let the stress go. Much like a martial artist would wait for someone to come and attack. He's in that state of being able to respond in peace. Boom, boom, deflect, deflect, deflect.
Mm-hmm. Good.
All right. And so there is a link that you'll see, the stress relief workshop. If you click on this document, you'll see how to do the self-help neuroemotional techniques.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was just last week.
Mm-hmm.
Was it this week? Or
that was this week. Yeah.
Monday?
I think it was Tuesday.
Tuesday. We did our talk on how chiropractic care has been proven to improve the immune system. And you'll see there, if you're into research and study, you know, this is one of the reasons why the big pharmaceutical companies really don't like chiropractic doctors very much, because the research shows that when people are getting adjusted, when their spines are moving, when their nervous system is communicating with every organ, every cell to its fullest potential, the body works better. These studies here show that an increase of 139% in immune function with people that are getting adjusted. Another study shows 200% improvement. Mm-hmm. Another study shows what happened with the people with a Spanish flu. I saw your picture that you found of all those.
Yeah, I mean, the story from the Spanish flu is so amazing. That's when chiropractic really boomed even more, was because those who were under medical care, oopsies, hold on a moment. Those who were under chiropractic care had a much higher survival rate during the Spanish flu than those under medical care. So that was really in time when it showed like, whoa, how much chiropractic boosts the immune function.
That's what really put them on the map in terms of being socially accepted. You know, mm-hmm. And that was also a time before the pharmaceutical companies really had started to make a lot of drugs. There were still a lot of natural medicines that were being used, and it was an amazing study. You can click on it if you want to see the article there and mm-hmm. read.
And one part that was really cool was that there was a time when, you know, medical doctors were starting to have cases where they said, you know, this is just a lost case. So they sent 233 cases over to the chiropractors at one point and said, okay, these are all lost cases. And the chiropractic, all but 25 lived under that chiropractic care from those 233. So that was a pretty cool thing to see, that these cases are lost, but really there's still hope. And that's one of the things that, you know, we want to be here for, is that there's hope, and these things are helpful and work. And there's a lot of hope out there in the midst of, you know, the hard things that we're hearing and seeing. That let's focus on the positive and the solutions there are.
And we're suggesting that people, if you're feeling any of the symptoms of the COVID-19, we're asking you to stay home. Mm-hmm. You know, but if you're wondering about how can I be as healthy and strong and my immune system be as strong, then we're asking you to come in and feel free to get adjusted and boost your immune response. But for the safety of everyone, we're asking people to isolate themselves, take their supplements, potentially see their medical doctor, and look at the hydroxyquinone and erythromycin and zinc and these other things that are proving to knock it out. Just look again at Dr. Dietrich Klinghart's video. Another one shows Ronald Perot, 200% greater immune system competence in people that were not receiving care. 2014, another adjustment showing that it actually increases neurotensin, oxytocin, and cortisol blood levels. So these are all reference studies, which are great to see the science, not just the ideology of natural health care, but we truly believe the body was made to heal itself, and it will when it's free of stress. And stress comes in lots of different packages. It can be structural stress from our old injuries and how our body healed in these distorted patterns. And it's keeping that life force from flowing. That's called a subluxation of the spine, where there's impingement of the flow of the nervous system and its communication pathways to every cell in our body, every muscle, every organ, every tissue in the body is under the control of the nervous system. So this is why these research articles are showing, because you're helping the body to heal itself naturally. So let's get into some of the immune boosting supplements, the packages that we're making available to people. Vitamin C, Dr. Klinghart's recommending at least 2,000 milligrams a day from supplementation, even up to 4,000 milligrams. And there are other sources that say even up to 10,000 milligrams. A lot of it has to do with what your body can handle, what bowel tolerance your body can handle. We like a product called BioC Plus by Biotics. It has 1,000 milligrams, but it also has a lot of the bioflavonoids. Bioflavonoids are called vitamin P. So there's a vitamin C complex, there's a vitamin P complex, instead of just taking straight ascorbic acid. Intravenous vitamin C has also been very helpful, 10,000 milligrams. We refer over to Dr. Marcela Dominguez for all of the IV therapies. Vitamin D, we usually now research has come out that if you're taking vitamin D without taking vitamin K, it can be harmful potentially to the coronary arteries. So we suggest vitamin D with K, at least a 10,000 international units of vitamin D. And we have a product called vitamin DK, which is in a sesame oil base. And I just usually put drops of it on my hand and lick it off. I think it's 5 drops will give us 10,000 units. You don't have to take it multiple times during one day since it's oil soluble. Just take 5 drops.
Well, they do. Remember Dr. Marcella talked about doing the 5,000 units in the morning and 5,000 at night?
Yeah, and that's good because you are loading, again, the body right before you go to bed. So that makes sense as well. And then there's a zinc article. Now, did you put the one that?
No, I haven't gotten the
so
link.
There's going to be 2 links that she's going to add. We just found an article on zinc, a lot of what makes zinc so helpful for immune function. So I'm going to have her add that link and actually this other link to how the immune system works. Vitamin A. There's charts on where to get foods that are high in vitamin A. We know, of course, carrots. There's lots of sources of vitamin A, green leafy vegetables. And then we have immune boosting combos, actually formulas. Andrographis is one that Dr. Klinghart. Did our Andrographis product ever come in yet? Ever since this came out, I mean, it's been so hard to get Andrographis. If you can get Andrographis, that's something to consider.
So actually, the wellness formula has Andrographis in it.
It does.
But there's a Zymogen product called Virographies that is what we carry and what we also offer for you to order online through our just membership with them. And actually, that one is 50% Andrographis, which is really hard to find in any supplement. I think the wellness formula has like maybe 16% Andrographis, but they're finding that Andrographis are so helpful for this coronavirus.
And what's that one called again? Virographies?
Virographis.
Okay, so you should probably add that on
it is. List. It's on there.
Oh, I don't see it.
Yeah, it's on the other part about Zymogen specifically.
Okay, all right, good.
It's under how to order from Zymogen.
We use Imuplex for over 30 years. When people come in with predominant viral symptoms or bacterial symptoms, we know there's protocols that we can give people. And, I usually ask people, how motivated are you to get well fast? Because those that are really motivated, I can give them an hourly protocol until they start to feel better, then back it off to every 2 hours and then 3 times a day. And then when they're well, then I usually suggest that you take it morning and night for 2 weeks, just in case the viruses want to mutate and come back around, shape shift, so the immune system isn't looking for them. They're funny that way. So we try to get people through it, and then build the immune reserves so you can withstand it and then not push yourself too hard afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
And then we usually use a B vitamin complex. Folic acid is extremely important. We usually use methylfolate plus, which is folic acid and B12. And then the throat spray we talked about, Argentum silver, propolis spray, hypochlorous acid. And then another thing that I wanted to add on there is the use of essential oils. If you're a doTERRA fan, you can use On Guard. If you're a Young Living, thieves oil, and those have long histories of working even back to the bubonic plague. These formulas have been around in ancient medicines for a long time to keep people healthy and well.
Mm-hmm.
We already talked about Dr. Klinghart's video, and let's see, what else? I think we kind of covered most of the basics.
Yeah, I think we did.
If there are any questions, just know that we are here Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Tuesday hours are noon to 6, and Wednesday hours are 7 to 12, and Thursday 12 to 6. We are here to help, and we look forward to this whole situation blowing over,
Mm-hmm.
and getting back to life as we all knew it. Our prayers are with you, with our community of people. I think it's a good time for us to look at our relationship with our Maker, and also our relationship with our family. One of the next talks we will do is on healing relationships with our friends and family. You can keep posted for healing relationships video that's going to take place next week. And if there are no more questions, we're going to sign off.
Yeah, and just so with the supplements, we're doing a few things so that you can get them in a way that works for you. We obviously have them here at the office. We're also doing curbside pickup. So if you want to give us a call and just say, all right, I need some vitamin C, I need some zinc, and D, then we'll put together that package for you. We can take payment over the phone and then just do a curbside pickup for you. So you can do it that way. We're also just shipping packages to people's houses, so you can call in, get us your supplement order, and then we'll ship it off to you. And then we'll also have people, come in if they do feel comfortable, if they're feeling well, and they want to come in wearing a mask and in social distancing. Like we said, we're doing a lot of deep of every room and all of our offices, so that we're staying guidelines and everything like that. So we are going to actually right now, we're going to, me and Teresa are here at the office. So we're going to be taking any supplement orders that you want to call in right now. We're going to be doing 15% off for you since you joined us, and that's our little gift to you today. So if you want to call in a supplement order, our number is 949-497-2553. And we can kind of walk you through which supplements might be best based on what you have already and what you're needing. And so that's going to be for the next hour. We're going to be taking calls for that with 15% off. And then as well as our adjustment, we are running an adjustment immune boost visit for $67 to come in, get an adjustment. We'll do the cold laser therapy on you, the immune function, and then give you some supplement recommendations as well. So that visit is $67, and that's just a special we're doing right now in this time. But we are doing pre-screening, so before you come in, we kind of screen for any symptoms or anything like that. And then and then we're going to just continue to be doing webinars and continue to be sending out our little immune boost tips. We've also been putting together a postural restoration series of stretches and exercises that are sent to your email daily. And that's a really cool thing that you can be doing at home during this quarantine time, focusing on your posture, focusing on restoring that. So if that's something you're interested in, just you can call us, you can email me, Maria at healthandbalance.com.
How do you spell that?
So it's MOREA at healthandbalance.com. I'll write it in here. And you can just email me and tell me, hey, I want to get on that postural restoration series so that I can see what you're doing. And then I can go ahead and put you on that series today so that you'll get your first postural exercise there. And then I'm going to also put our number on here if you want to call in for a supplement order. And then I'll be emailing you guys those links that we talked about, the extra links, so that you have that information. But
is there a way for them to share this with their friends if you found this helpful?
Yes, I will send you in the follow-up email. I'll send you a link for the platform where this is going to be posted as a video so that friends can watch it as well. So I think that's all we have unless there's any last questions. But thank you so much for joining us, you guys. Super fun to be with you this morning. And stay healthy, stay well. And we'll see you on another one of these pretty soon here.
Stay healthy, my friends.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you guys. Have a good one.